Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Big hello and welcome to all you new subscribers out there. Had to make a video on this one. I had just made a video of this one about, I think, 2-3 videos ago. It's a 40 horse, 1989 40 horse recreational engine that came in here, and it just had a number of problems with it. And I had seen the engine probably 3 years ago. I worked on it. At that time it was leaking fuel problems, which turned out to be a torn fuel hose, secondary fuel line going to the car, after where it tees off on a dual carbureted engine. But I've got the carburetors here. I took them apart and I found something that I don't even know. It just, something looked wrong. First, when I took when I opened it up and took the bottom carburetor bowl off, the float was sticking at about 10-degree angle up, further than level. So that didn't look right there. Of course, there is a little tab in the back on these carburetor floats, right there, that you can adjust. And so I thought, well, maybe it's just out of adjustment. Well, then I pulled when I lifted it out, the needle came with it. Has a rubber tipped needle on it, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. The needle tip was all distorted. So I was like, well, that could cause problems right there. I'll bring a light over and show you. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you can see the tip, if this thing will focus that well or not. But the tip's all crooked and just distorted. So hopefully you can see it. It's the tip's just messed up. So that caught my eye. So a new needle and seat, no big deal there. Like I stated in the past video, this is an engine that was relabeled as a 35, so it met horsepower maximum limits on certain salmon rivers around here. So I wrote down the actual carburetor parts. I have the manual, but I went online and checked it too at marineengineering.com. And the top carburetor is 398347. Well, these carburetors have actually 3 jets on them, orifices. The intermediate jet or the upper jet on the top carb was a number 33. The high speed or bowl jet was a 47D, and that's on the top carburetor. The bottom carburetor, its number was 398340. Its upper jet, what they call the intermediate jet, its number was 35. Its high speed or bowl jet was a 47D as well. So the intermediate upper jet's numbers were different. The top was number 33 on the top carb and number 35 on the bottom carb. And the low speed jet is adjustable. Those jet numbers for these are those are non-adjustable. They're fixed jets. So the low speed idle is adjustable, which means depending on how far you screw it in or pull it out, you open the width of that. So that is going to be the same on both carburetors. But so I found a lot of stuff in this bottom carburetor that gave me concern, but I'm going to show you. Here's both carburetors, and I just kept staring at this thing, and I kept looking at this bottom carb, and I just saw things that didn't look right. I'll put that on so the high-speed emulsion gasket. All right, so this is the top, this is the bottom, and something just wasn't right, and I kept staring at it. Let me get you over here closer, and you'll be able to see, hopefully, what I was talking about. All right, this is your top carb. I have them labeled. There's top right there. All right, and there's your low speed adjustable jet. Here's the bottom carb. Well, sorry. Hopefully you can see right off something's different. I know it until I set the carburetors side by side, I didn't notice it. But that one's labeled B there. I don't know if you can see it for bottom. But the first thing I started looking at was around this emulsion tube. It's all scarred up. If you look at this one, it's not. But if you look at that one, the holes are facing a different way. Just everything, and you can see where it looks like somebody grabbed hold to it with a pair of pliers or something and tried to screw it out of there. So then I started looking at them side by side. Look at the tip on this one. Look at the tip on this one. This one's basically flush. This one tapers and sticks about a 1/4 inch past this. Now, these carbs do have different numbers. The bottom one's 398, 340. The top one's 398, 347. The pictures I saw on the inner tube there and in the manual, they're not good enough for me to tell if this is supposed to be like this, but it looks like it's been broke off. It looks like somebody's tried to squeeze that out or actually hammered it in. And this height that this one has, I believe, should be on this carburetor. So what I believe I have 2 more of these engines. I know one's a later model, but I think I have one that's about the same year. I'm going to have to take the bottom carb off that one. At least this is what I see as the easiest way. And open that puppy up and look at some of this stuff. It just, things didn't look right all the way around when I took that apart. So that's where I'm at with this 40. I'm waiting on a water pump impeller, and I was just going to clean the carburetors up so that when I hook them all up, they would be nice and clean, and that would rule that out. But something just is not right there. So and like I said, I do have the actual manual, and it gives the actual orifice numbers in there, and they seem to be correct. So the old carburetor orifice plug reference chart. And so the orifices seem to be the correct ones as far as I can tell. And this is the manual for this actual motor. So found that pretty interesting. Thought I'd make a video of it. And I'm doing up another motor. We'll go out here. I about got this 50 ready to go. Just got some cosmetic stuff to do on that one, and I'll get that one finished painting. Get it painted up, and she runs good as well. There's that guy. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, but I'll show you. Now, this one right here is a nice motor. 55 commercial, tiller handle, forward gear shift, and runs really good. It's got the manual primer, which I like, instead of the electric clicky one. Let me turn on some water. We'll fire this one up. And these 55 commercials, when you set them up like that, they're nice. Strong engine, good running, a lot of power, a lot of torque. Fine motor. And thinking about it, don't know. Really don't. Things, like I said, it's probably worth more in parts than it is. I will take that tilt set off, that motor shot, but I've got others. But it looks to me like that's been replaced, that tilt. That don't look original. A lot of good stuff on here. Right there. There. Not there. There. Coils, a lot of good stuff. One thing I forgot to mention about this engine, when I asked the guy why they threw it on the ground and all that several years ago, and he said it was seized up. And I forgot to show you guys this. Let me show you what his version of seized up was. It was these right here. Yeah, that's the spark plugs that were in that motor. Look at the tip of that spark plug. Smash! And believe it or not, the cylinder that this one came out of had the highest compression out of all of them. That was the one that had the cylinder that had 120. But look how long these are. That engine over there takes QL77JC4s, not RN14YC, which is about a half an inch too long. So when they hit the starter, bam, that's what happened. And it did quite feel seized up. But as soon as I took the plugs out, she spun over fine when I put my little remote starter switch on it. Can't do that. Not good for the old crossflow. Luckily, it was a crossflow, because they have nice big thick tops on their pistons. But you can see it did some damage to the threads in that block. You can see the aluminum stuck in this plug, little bits of it. I took a rethreader and rethreaded it, honed it up, or whatever you call it. So I took my rethreader, run it in there a few times, and and it tightens up just fine. So, mysteries abound. But that one there, I got some research to do. Something ain't right, which means something is wrong. So we are going to have to do a little searching and so forth, and on the old intertube, trying to get my camera to stay up. Yeah, so I just found this really interesting. So as they say, mechanics lie. Mechanics don't lie. This thing has been monkeyed with, and now I'm convinced that all the other issues, screws in his impeller housing, in his shift chamber, bolts in the shift chamber, screw inside the actual impeller housing, one shorter than the other, float bowls sticking up about like that when you take it apart. Too much wrong going on in this motor. So we'll keep researching the numbers. Thanks for watching.